So this is Dani's third year as an elementary technology coach in the Livingston Public Schools. She previously was a middle school physical education teacher and found her technology passion while teaching seventh grade health. Dani also had the opportunity to teach robotics and coding after getting her master's in educational technology. Dani still has a great passion for sports and is also the Drew University Sports and Rec Coordinator. And finally, Dani is part of our cohort 10 for the Educational Technology Leadership Program. I've had the opportunity to know her for 2 years now. She is so down to earth. She's fun. And I wish I was a kid again so I could be in one of her educational technology classes. So guys, now without further ado, here is our presenter for the evening. Welcome, Dani.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm super excited to be here, especially after last year. It's such a good time doing the webinar. So I'm going to go over generative AI today. We're going to explore through Canva. Today, we're going to basically go over what that means, what is Gen AI, identify some types of Gen AI, explore it through Canva, and discuss the use of it in general. So again, like Melissa said, I'm a tech coach. I work at two elementary schools. So I see K-5, but I also collaborate with our middle school and our high school tech coaches. And I also work for Drew University as their intramural coordinator, which is a lot of fun for me as well. So first of all, a lot of these images that I've used in my presentation, including the QR code, and obviously this is created through generative AI, and some of it on Canva, some on other tools that I'll go over, and I'll also share my presentation at the end. So first, foremost, generative AI is basically machines that can learn and create new content. Now, when I say new, this can kind of be argued where what the machines are doing, they're studying patterns and data and looking for similarities. So when we give them a prompt or a picture, it's going to take what it knows to create something that's new. Some people don't consider this new because it's gathering images from what it knows and putting it into one, I don't want to say new again, but a different type of media. But it is learning from what it has been taught through statistical models and pushes out different media. So before we get into more of that, I want to go over something basic to show you what that kind of means. What is artificial intelligence with generative AI? And kind of go what I would show my students when I teach them what this means. So I actually did a little bit of this lesson with my fourth graders. And a lot of this you can incorporate into your teaching, whether you do it just for yourself or you do it with your students to explore with them in a safe way. So right off the bat, we know artificial intelligence is the big main topic, but then we have our machine learning, where it's an ability for machines and artificial intelligence to learn without explicit programming. So when I think of that is when you're coding, you have to give really specific instructions and go over what everything is, where machine learning, it already has some data that it's gathered and can create prompts and learn from that. And then you have deep learning, which kind of goes into neural networks, which mimics what a human brain has, where there's connecting of different patterns and it's taking patterns and similarities to produce something else. So we're going to look at the neural network through an activity on Quick Draw. And again, this is something I've done with my fourth graders. They absolutely loved it. And it shows you how a neural network can learn. So I'm going to just click this link, and I'll include all these links at the end of the presentation so you can try it out yourself. But this is kind of fun to do because I'm a really bad drawer. So it's really interesting to see how AI can see what you're doing and learn from what you do. All right, so this says it can help teach by adding your drawings to the world's largest doodling data set. So when we draw in this, it's going to put that into its data set and learn from what we put in, but also what people have done in the past. All right, so let me show you an example. So I'll just click Let's Draw. And I'm just going to click Got it. So it's going, I have 20 seconds to draw a sailboat, and the robot is going to try to guess that it's a sailboat. All right, here we go. And it's,
I see arrow, or star, or zigzag.
So
I see
really
music note, or snowflake, or speedboat, or springboard.
What was there? Sailboat. And you can help me by giving...
I have no clue what you're drawing.
It'll tell you I'm so bad at drawing. It doesn't know
I have no clue what you're drawing. Sorry,
right, so
I couldn't guess it.
All right, let's go to Lighthouse. Here we go. Okay, Lighthouse is gonna be on an island. We're gonna do this.
I see rainbow, or skyline, or cruise ship, or arrow, or sailboat.
Sad.
Oh, I know. It's lighthouse.
See, now it knows it. I don't know how it knew from that. All right, snorkel. Here we go.
I see circle. I see smiley, or face, or dog, or cookie. Oh, I know. It's snorkel. I see ballon, or shoe, or spoon, or mosquito, or mouse. I see bird, or frog, or dog, or scorpion, or raccoon. I see toe, or grape, or golf club, or shrimp, or bracelet. I see music note, or hockey puck, or giraffe. I see blackberry. Sorry, right. I couldn't guess it.
2 more diamond. This should be easy for me.
I see mountain.
Come on.
I see marker, or crayon, or eraser, or house, or shark. I see zigzag, or passport. I'm stumped.
There we go.
Oh, I know. It's diamond. I see door, or remote control, or cooler, or passport. I see power outlet, or spreadsheet, or dresser. I see notebook, or water. I see square. I see postcard. I see passport. All right. So that was really I couldn't
bad,
guess
obviously. And you'll notice your kids will get better and better at this part. But so this is where it explains what happened while I was doing those terrible drawings. So it says our neural net figured out 3 of your doodles, but it saw something else in the other 3. So if I click the sailboat, it's going to show me the data that it thought it could have been like. So if I click sailboat, it thought it looked similar to the speedboat or the springboard or the music note based off of other people's drawings in the past. So it's learning from those drawings, not Google images of a sailboat, not whatever I drew. So it's gathering information from what it has learned. Now other people who did a better job, this is what they drew, and it was labeled later as sailboat. So it's learning, okay, this looks like a sailboat. This looks like a sailboat. Not that. I don't think it's that far, but maybe now that I've done that, next time someone does a bad drawing like this, it might pick it up as a sailboat. So I'm going to go back and click one that I got correct. I'm going to go with the snorkel. No, I'm going to actually go with the diamond. So it thought my drawing looked like these, the closest match, similar to what other people have done. But like, okay, it looks kind of like this, but someone labeled it as a shark. This was labeled as a boomerang. So it has that in its memory. So it's looking at what I have and trying to guess what it is. Now, these are the ones that it learned by looking at these examples by other people, that this is what they're looking for to be labeled as a snorkel. So again, this is how you can go over it with your kids. I did an example in front of them, just like I did with you guys, and showed them. They laughed at me, but then they get to do it and they get to explore. And I made sure, like, to tell them, make sure you click through these to see why it thought yours was this, what it has in its database, so it can kind of learn, and they're kind of exploring in a safe and easy way. So that's like a really easy way to introduce them to AI and generative AI. All right, so that's quick draw, really easy to do with your kids. at a lot of different levels. Okay, so let's go back to this. All right, so types of generative AI. We have a ton of types. The first one that many people know already is the text generation, which can be found most specifically through ChatGPT, where you're entering a prompt and it's responding to you. So these could be any kind of chatbots. Canva has a text generator. Magic School is a big one that a lot of schools are using or educators are using. Copilot, all of these are going to give you something back once you ask them a question. Then you have the text to image generator, which some tools include Adobe, Canva, DALL-E, Midjourney, all of those where you're giving a prompt and it will produce an image based off of what it knows. So if you look at this example right here, we have someone saying a dog skateboarding in space. So AI is taking what it knows about dogs, what it knows about skateboarding, and what it knows about space, and putting all of those ideas together to create this new image or new media. Then you have image to image generator, the two specific tools, DALL-E and Midjourney. This is where you're giving an image and it's going to look at your image, look at the pixels and change it around or change the style of it and give you another image back. So I tried this once with my picture of my dog, and another dog came out. It was obviously a dog. It was obviously similar to my dog, but was more of like a cartoonish. And this is where you'll see this is really kind of new, and there's still kind of mistakes where it looks almost deformed. So again, this is all new. So the data that it's collecting now, it's just going to get better and better. And then we have image inpainting, which is really what I'm going to focus on in Canva, but you can also do it in Adobe. And if you look over here, we have an example of image inpainting where you have a picture and you highlight an area of it, say first the eyes, and pretend this dog didn't have sunglasses at first. Then you type in sunglasses or red sunglasses, and then it puts that in the area that you highlighted. Same with the soccer ball. It wasn't originally there. That Chihuahua is not holding a soccer ball in real life, but someone was able to circle or highlight that area, and then the generative AI program placed that soccer ball there after they they put in that prompt, the text prompt of soccer ball. So that is image inpainting. And then of course you have music composition, which I'm not too familiar with, but that is a way where you can produce music through generative AI, whether it has a style of a voice that it knows or style of music, and you put in some prompts and it will produce music. And one of the tools that are popular is that Magenta. All right, so the reason why I'm going to be using Canva today is for a few reasons. One, it's just amazing, and you can do so much with Canva, whether it's for you as an educator, you as a marketer, or for your students. And it is free for educators. It comes with all the premium perks that you would get if you paid for it, if you weren't an educator, and same with your students, it's free. Second reason is because you can safely explore AI. You know, there's a lot of issues out there where we want to make sure that people are using AI safely and we're training the data safely. And keeping it in this Canva program, the privacy is set, your data is safe. You know, if you use a free program, you have to be very careful with student data and student privacy issues. So we know Canva is safe and it's going to protect our students. And then, like I said, safe exploration, where students are going to learn about AI, whether we teach them or not. This is a good way to carefully teach them and show them ways like, how do we make great prompts? How do we ask better questions? What is AI? Is it bad? Is it good? Talk about it, discuss it with your students, rather than us saying, you know, it's not something you should be using. I don't want you using it in my class, because then they're going to go home and use it, and they probably won't go on Canva at home unless they see what you can do with you. So, all right, so I'm going to actually exit out of my presentation mode and go into edit mode of this presentation in a second. And I'm going to create a a comic strip using some of Canva's AI apps. Now, I've made another Canva comic strip template. If you're interested and you want to do this with me, you're welcome to jump on it. I made it so you can edit it. I think I have 10 comic strips, so if for some reason we have more people who want to do it, we can add more. But you can add, like I'm going to go through each app and each box. So the first box is going to show you the text to image generative AI, and that's Magic Expand. Then we'll go through Magic Edit, Magic Write, and Translate, which again, let me just go back to this, which is part of, we have a lot of the text to image generator in Canva. We have text generation, and then we have the image inpainting, which are all examples of these. So I'm going to ask one of the graduate assistants to throw, oh, we got it already in the chat. Thank you so much. So that link that's now in the chat, if you open that up, it'll just be blank comic strip that you can grab one of the slides and explore with me. You might have to log in with your account. All right. So I am going to go over to my toolbar here, and I'm going to go to apps, and let me exit out QR code. And I'm going to scroll down, and you're going to see Magic Media. Magic Media is Canva's AI portal. And this is going to be the text to image generator. So we're going to start with the text to image. And you'll notice on this slide, I also have my theme, which is going to be superheroes. It's easy. And I also have on the side, it says AI allowed in project ? And I circled yes. So if this is something you're interested in, especially for middle school and high school, if you're going to have students use AI sometimes, you want to be explicit and say, okay, this project, you can use it. And maybe if you have a project where you don't want them using AI at all, let them know that. That way they know, okay, I'm okay with using it. I don't have to feel like I'm doing something wrong. And this really just depends on your assessment. Are you assessing their artwork? Then maybe that's more of drawing and you don't want to use this AI. But are you assessing how they understand the information that you taught them? Then maybe you can use AI, because they're still going to show you what they know through their creations. And you can get so creative with Canva, and you have so many different projects that you can do with this. Comic strips is just one example. All right, so let's get into it. So I'm okay with, if you want to jump in the chat and ask or give me a prompt. I'm looking for something to start my comic strip, like an intro. So it could be like a purple dog in space. So let's do that. Let's go in the chat. Can you give me a color, an animal, and a location? Oh, we have purple. Love purple. Thank you. Purple again. Okay, popular. All right, so we have the color. A purple cat. Okay, wow. All right, purple cat. And we'll do unicorn. We'll do two. On the beach. I like that. Under my bed. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna do on the beach. We'll start with this one. All right, so we have a purple cat and unicorn on the beach. Now you'll also notice there are styles to choose from, and there's a ton of them. If you click see all, you'll notice that's how it's going to generate it. Knowing what different styles exist, it's going to take what we told it and the style and morph it into something cool. So I love this dreamy one. It's my favorite style. So I'm going to select that. And here's my prompt. So that's the text part. And now it's going to take what it knows about purple, what it knows about cats. We didn't give the unicorn a color, so I'm going to give it a blue unicorn, and what it knows about beaches. So let's see. I'll click generate images, and this does take a minute. And it'll give you 4 different choices. And you'll also notice there's the video choice here too, which is mostly, I think it's still in beta. So it's not perfect, but it is cool. All right, here we go. We have a cat that is a unicorn, a cat and a unicorn. Oh, these are pretty good. A massive cat. All right, let's go with this one. All right, so this is our start of our comic strip. Now, again, if you don't like any of these, you can always change the prompt or just click generate again or change the style to fit what you're looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this the size of the height of this first box. All right, that's good. Now you'll notice it's not covering the whole comic strip. And I don't want to just make it like this zoomed in because I want the whole picture. So what I'm going to do is use the magic expand. And this is what it's doing basically is predicting what it thinks you would want in this space based on these pixels around here. So to do that, I'm just clicking the photo. Notice how if I don't click it, I don't have an edit photo option. If I click it, I now have this edit photo. And then it will give me all of these options. So we have our Magic Studio here and our Magic Expand. So if I click that, it gives me options. I could do freeform which is what I'm going to do, or I can do a whole page. So I can change the size, but what I like to do is just freeform. So then I can do the opposite of cropping. So I'm going to grab the corner and drag it out to the size of the box. So that looks pretty much the size of the box. And I can click Magic Expand. Whenever I do with the kids, I always have them drum roll because the little delay makes it a little more fun. And it will produce that background that it thinks should be there. And again, it should give us some options to choose from. All right, so we have a random green tree here. This one looks a little more natural with the mountain. This one looks pretty good. All right, I like this one. So now we have a full size for our comic strip for our first one. All right, the next part is Magic Edit. So we're going to stick to starting with this photo. And again, click Edit Photo. And this is Magic Edit, where you can, sorry, I'm going to do Magic Grab first to show you something. So you have Magic Grab is going to take the elements out of the background, similar to remove background. I see a hand. I'm going to pause real quick. And then could Tracy unmute?
Yeah, Tracy, you can unmute yourself if you want to ask the question.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. So I kind of was trying to follow the example that you were doing, but it's not allowing me to. I don't see the same exact features that you have with this Magic Studio. Is that something that you have to purchase? Or did you say that?
So are you under your educator account or student account?
Oh, okay. No, because I'm actually not even on my my school computer. That one died, so I had to go on to my personal computer. So that's probably why. So I'll just log in.
If you log in with your student email, it should work.
Okay. Wait, you said student?
Student or teacher, educator.
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Okay. All right. And then
that's a good point. It'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. That was
no, good question. Yeah, so the premium is really the AI portion, and that you'll be able to get with any educator or student account. All right, so I'm going to start with Magic Grab. And what this is doing is allowing me to take like the major focuses of the picture and take it out of the background. So notice how this comes out of the background. And it's similar to remove a background or the background remover, but instead it keeps that background there because you might need it. So I'm going to now duplicate my animals. So now I can put this one back in there and here and keep these here. I could also do the same where maybe I just want the background. And now I have that. And I'm going to keep this background and I'm going to move this to the front. So to do that, you're going to go to position and go to front. All right, so we have this. Now I might zoom in maybe now. Let's go like that and crop it. So we're getting a little closer to them. All right, and then I'm gonna go back to edit photo and do that magic edit. So the magic edit will allow me to highlight part of the photo and change what's there. So let me think. I'm gonna try a cape on this unicorn. So what I'm gonna do is highlight where the cape would be. Again, my drawing skills are really poor, as you have seen. So we'll see how this turns out with my purple highlight. All right, so if that's how I want it, I can click continue. And this is where I give my written prompt to tell it what I want produced in that spot. So I'm just gonna say red cape. And look, it gives you some ideas, which is kind of cool. Mermaid tattoo on a unicorn, I don't know. All right, click generate. And again, it'll give you some options. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, not only to show you a little bit of in painting, is to show you that it's not always perfect. And it is getting better and better. But as you can see, like these are kind of capes. It does okay. It's not perfect. It doesn't look completely natural. These actually aren't terrible. But I want to show you what I prefer when I'm in Canva. And this is good to show the students too. So, okay, that's what it created. I'm going to click done so it keeps it. Now it's part of that image. But if you go to elements in Canva, you can kind of do the same thing and make it look better. So if I search cape in elements, you have the option of graphics and photos. Graphics are pictures without backgrounds, which works really well in comic strips. So if I go to graphics and find a cape, I like this blue one, and then put it where the unicorn is, and then just flip it. And then I can put it behind the unicorn by going to position backwards. And if I got, if I didn't use that, that's different. And this looks like a cloth or a towel on a unicorn, and this looks like a fancy cape, right? And you can group them so it's like if I hold down shift, if I click the cape, hold down shift, and allow me to group it so it's one. So like I said, this is just showing kids, what exists, how to use it, but that there are still more options. It's not always the best way. Excuse me. It's not always the best route to go. AI is not always the answer, but it is one option. Okay, so we have our unicorn and our cat. And then let me do this. Any questions right now?
Yeah, Danny.
Anything in the chat?
Yeah, if you look at the chat, Tiffany
Mhm.
asked two questions. Where did you initially type in the prompt, and where was that typed into? It didn't look like it went into the search. In the top, the box looked different.
Where was this typed into? The original photo? Like
Yeah,
this
when
one?
we did purple cat and a blue
So
unicorn.
so that's gonna be in apps. And if you scroll down, if you are in your educator or teacher or student account, you will see Magic Media. And that was right here. It just brings you right to the Magic Media, which is our text to image. And then to change any photos with AI, you click the image or the photo, then click edit photo, and the Magic Studio will be your first option. Did that answer? Oh, if you want to change the blue cape element to red, can you? Good question. So when you go to elements, there are multicolors. So if I could click the red. Some will have the option to directly change the color. Like, let's see if depending on the image. it could have a color palette up there. Let's see if I find one. Oh, it's a cool cape. Okay, so like this one. This one you can change the color palette right on it. If you multicolor. Or if you really like one and then you can't change the color, like I like this one. What you can do is click edit image and you'll see I already used it, but the duotone is one of the edit image options. And you can click duotone and it'll give you options. And when I click it, like let's click cherry, click apply, then I can go back to it. It's a filter. And where's the duotone? I can then adjust the color on this. So like before it didn't look like I could change the color, but if you go to filters, you can play with it and change it. Okay, any other questions? Okay, cool. So let me change the scene a little bit. So I'm gonna crop out the cat because the main focus is now the unicorn. I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll flip them. Also have to flip the cape horizontally. Let me ungroup. I don't know why I did that. Okay, and then I could rotate it so it makes it look like it's flying a little bit. Let me crop that. It's funny. Where is it flying to? Let's give it another element. Someone said the forest before. All right, so I'm gonna give it a forest graphic so it looks similar. Okay. I don't know why, but that's what it's doing. It's flying to the forest now. Too far. Okay, so you're gonna see my other example is a lot better than this. I'm just gonna show you right now. This is my first example that I did before this. Let me take like a quick break and go over these steps. So what I did first was I did the text to image, which is your app's magic media. For this prompt, I did dogs going to school, walking to school. And another cool thing you can show your students is each time you give a prompt, it could be the same exact prompt, it's going to produce a different image. So like if I did the same exact prompt I did here, we can check out what it'll look like. So dogs walking to school. And I always do dreamy, generate. We'll see what it looks like. Always give that drum roll. And then again, it'll give you those 4 options. So you'll see it does look similar, but different. Like we have humans in this one. It looks like the same style, but different, a little bit different in each one. Then what I did was I expanded it so that it would make this spot. So what I did, I clicked one of these. I made it the height as my photo box. And then I went to edit photo and did our magic expand so that it created this, what it thought would be most realistic over here. All right. Next, I did our edit image again, and I did the magic grab, or you could do magic remover, background remover. I'll show you that one. Same thing, except if you want to keep the background, you want to do a magic grab. And then I just made a new background for my superhero dog. Then what we're going to do next is our text generation. So this is similar to any kind of chatbots or the ChatGPT. So let me just get a cool background in there and show you what I'm going to do. All right, so for Canva, if you want a speech bubble, the speech bubble is an image. You can't type in it. So if I just search speech bubble, a lot of students will just double click it and like, I can't type in it. So what you need to do is first put the speech bubble, then go to text and add, I like to add a subheading first, and then type in this and put it over the speech bubble. All right, so if I wanted to type like the unicorn is going to say, what do we want it to say? I don't know what a unicorn would say. Hi, purple cat. It is nice to meet you. I don't know. All right. The text generation, what I'm going to do is, I think I need a couple. All right, if I highlight over the words, if I just click it, it's going to show this magic write. And you can use this a lot better if you're making a presentation and you have a paragraph. This can change what you say to a couple options. So if I click magic write, I can either continue writing, so it's going to create more text for me. I can summarize to make it sound better. I can rewrite it, or I can do like the sprinkle fairy dust to make it sound more fairy-ish. So let me just do sprinkle fairy dust and see what it says. So it's going to take what I say and change it. Let's see what it said. Greetings, mystical feline of the, I don't even know how to say that. Hugh, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. So again, this is going to be the text generation feature of Canva that you can use in different ways, whether it's for the text speech bubble, or maybe you're making a letter to parents on Canva. Any kind of text can be changed with this magic write option, where if you text something or you type something and click it, the magic write will appear there. All right, I'll take the question again. Tracy?
Yes. So, well, I have two questions. One, how did you make the background so smooth? So, like, say if you have like, I guess a plain background, and it's just a blank color, how would you make it kind of soft like how you have right here?
Yeah, so this background was the AI generator doing that. But Canva does have a ton of background. So for that one, I did the magic media. And if the photo isn't coming out great, you're going to want to change your text and make it a different prompt, maybe a more specific prompt to what you're looking for, or test out some of the styles. So
Okay.
I use Dreamy, and I've noticed that one comes out with like a nice smooth background. So I would just
Oh,
experiment with these. And
s-
again, yeah, this is something that's really cool for students to see. Like, okay, maybe if I just did photo, it looked a little off. Because like a unicorn isn't going to be in a realistic photo, but if I do dreamy, maybe it'll look a little better and more futuristic.
okay, okay. So you do that before or after you choose your picture?
So you type your prompt and then you scroll down to see the styles. Click your style first and then click generate.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Mhm.
So so you type in what you want and then you click you find your style and
Right,
then
exactly.
click
Click
generate.
generate. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, this is kind of cool style. And then if you were to use elements, you could also do that too for backgrounds. Like I always put things in space, so space background. And then you'll
Hmm.
notice there's a lot of cool ones, and you can do the same thing with these. Like if I really liked this one, I can make this the background, and I can use the magic expand on this too. So I just magic expand. So it doesn't have to start. Did not like that. Didn't like this one actually. It's a video. Let me try that again. Edit photo, magic expand. Hmm, maybe it didn't like this. Let me try one more time. But yeah, you don't have to oh, there we go. All right, magic expand. It doesn't have to be an already AI generated photo. It could be a real photo. And like you'll see like a lot of people right now are doing the magic expand if they're in let's say they only got a little bit of a photo in Paris, and then there was someone next to them. So either they can use that like magic edit to remove them, or magic grab to remove those people out of it, or they can do crop it and then magic expand so it kind of makes the background of what should have been there rather than the photo bomber, which I thought was cool. All right,
How
so
do you, I had another question about the text. So
Yeah.
you said that, well, first off, if you deselect your text,
Mhm.
it's, okay, never mind. Okay.
You got
My
it?
question is, how do you um go to Magic Right? How do you get to Magic Right? Do you already have to have do you already have to be in the Magic media?
No, so like I just went to text and added, you can add a text box. It could be any kind of text. Um, and then it has to be like long enough. So, hello, my name is Danny. Eventually it'll be long enough where if you click it, it'll show the magic right. So what I did was I went to text, add a heading or any of those, and then write a little bit. Hi, my name is Danny. Click out of it, click into it, and then you'll see magic right.
So click out of it.
Yeah, so I'm typing first. So when you see I'm typing, I don't see it. But then if I click out to like deselect and then select it again, it exists. It pops up. Okay, cool. The next part is really cool. It's called Canva Translate. So if you saw my example, my superhero dog went to Spain and then started speaking Spanish to the dogs, letting them know it's gonna help them. So what I did was, same thing. I just created a speech bubble and I typed what I wanted. So that say the unicorn now is in space, and I get another speech bubble because you can't talk in a comic strip without a speech bubble. And then I go to my text. I like add subheading, move it over the speech bubble and say, hello, my fellow aliens. Um, that over there. Then I'm going to go to apps and it's right here. It says translate. Or you can also just search translate and it'll show it here. If I click translate, it will ask me if I want to translate the whole page, all my pages, or just the text that from a page. So if I just want the aliens to have like, if I just want space to have a different language, or let's say I'm not like, I don't want to go there anymore. I was in, someone give me a country. Let's take that out. I don't like that. We're traveling now. We're getting back to Earth. We're traveling. Can I have a country? Japan. Perfect. Okay. So this is cool too. For the apps, you can go to Magic Media and say you're in Japan. Okay, so let's go back. We are now going to Japan. Let's see. A little town in Japan. Generate. Get our unicorn to fly to Japan. And we're going to tell the unicorn to say, what do we want the unicorn to say? Oh, look at that. That is so cool. All right, someone give me something for the unicorn to say when it's in Japan. It's cherry blossom season. All right, so let me put my background back to the backwards. All right, and I'm going to change the text to it's cherry blossom season. I'm going to go back to apps. I'm going to go to translate. Click translate. And then right now it's already selected for me, but if I wanted to select a few of these, I can. I'm only going to select this one, and then I can select the language. So it has a ton of languages. So if you have a student who just moved over from somewhere and you have a presentation that you want to quickly convert to a different language, this is a great way to do it. But it's also a fun way to add it to a comic strip. There's so many, if you have a worksheet that you made in Canva, you can change the text to their native language. So if I click Japanese and click translate, do a little drum roll, there you go. And I cannot confirm what that says for you, but I mean it's Canva, it's gonna be pretty accurate. And let me do it the whole page. Like, I'll show you again. So translate pages, current page, and I could also choose all my pages and make my whole presentation for you in Japanese. And then it should change this. There we go. It's so quick. So again, that's something really cool that you can do for your students if you need to give them personalized worksheets or presentations and have that uploaded for them beforehand. So then while you're going over things with the students, they have something to look at and they can kind of understand a little bit better of what's going on, which is great. And they can participate too. Or they can do it reverse. I think they could just, if they're typing in their language, they might be able to change it. Yeah, reverse it. So that will also help students who are learning English for the first time. They can work in Canva and then see how it translates to English. And you could have it like side by side, maybe a comic strip side by side, same images, but different languages for each one. It'll be a really cool project. All right. Any questions from all of that? Okay. So I'm gonna move on to this was my backup one. Here, this was my backup one in case it didn't work. Here's my purple dog. A purple dog wearing headphones, walking to school. But obviously I like dogs in purple. All right. Let me get out of this. Okay, so I want to show you a bonus trick on Canva. This is another type of in painting. So if you have a picture of a sign or something where you want the sign to be included, you can take out the words and change the words, which is a really cool thing that you can do in Canva as well. So if I click the image again, I select it, notice how it's purple. If I don't select it, it's not purple and I can't do anything with it. So I click the photo, click edit photo, and click grab text. That will load and it will find the text within it. So it has been taught what text looks like. And now this text is gone, or I can double tap into it and change it to whatever I want. So maybe not go, but you can change it completely. You can take it out, add what you want. This is really cool for not just signs, but anything with words. You can remove those words and then change it for any photos that you have. And like I said before, some of the other ways that people have used these applications is if they have an old photo and it's missing part of it, maybe it's been deteriorated or part of it is just missing because of the photo quality, they can use these products and applications to recreate those photos using the generative AI. And it does a really good job of fixing those photos to how they maybe were originally, or it takes what the computer thinks you would want. And that's actually another point that's really good to talk to your students about is generative AI and AI in general will give you the output that it thinks you want. So a lot of people are very polite to their AI chatbots and programs. Like they'll say, like, please give me 2 books on this topic. Now, some people are like, well, that's great I was talking to my tech coaches about this, so I'll give them credit on this conversation. That's great because if in the future they take over, we want them to be polite back to us, right? If these robots eventually take over, we've taught them so much, at least we taught them to be polite back. But the other side of it is, if you're saying please to this computer, they're gonna feel like it's not necessary to give you it. You know, you want it to be a command. You want to say, give me this. And you want to be specific where if you're asking for something that doesn't exist, like give me 2 books on this topic. If it doesn't exist, it will give you 2 fake texts, books, or different book titles that don't exist. So that's really good to hone in on your kids. Like, look, especially if you say please, it will give you titles, but that doesn't mean it exists. My friend did, please give me 2 textbooks on breakout EDU programs. It did. She looked them up on Google. They don't exist. So because you're asking it, you might want to include if they don't exist, or if this is not possible, tell me that, or tell me it doesn't exist, rather than just one, assuming it's going to be right, and always fact check. Make sure that, you know, what it gives you, it's not always going to be correct. And it's important to check that. All right. So that was my bonus. Any questions so far? I see got some chats. I think you can also translate the edited graph text. Awesome, right? Good idea. So for the stop sign, you can change that into, you know, if you want Chinese or Spanish, whatever you want, which can help depending on what your project is and your student audience. Thank you. Awesome. Anything else? Okay. So things to think about, and this is with your students and in general to think about with AI, especially generative AI. Some questions. Is art made with AI real art? And this is debatable. You know, I'm not going to give you an answer on this. This is something to just think about, talk to your students about. I'm having my students make a podcast about AI. So this is something I'm hoping they'll discuss with their peers. Like, all right, is it art? Like, I just put in all those prompts myself, and yeah, Canva's helping me make it, but who else is making those prompts? I'm being very specific and I'm using it in a different way. I'm customizing it after. Is it real? Should someone be able to sell that art? So they've made this canvas or whatever, printed out. Can you sell it? Should that be allowed? Another thing to think about. I'm not sure. Should students be able to hand in any AI generated art? Now, this is something I said before where, like, I think if it's in an art class, you shouldn't be using AI generated art unless that's the topic and you're telling them, okay, we're going to be focusing on creating different abstract art. You know, you have to be very specific with your students if you're opening the door of AI. That's why I have that little check on the comic strip. Like, yes, you're allowed to use this. Be clear with them. You know, just telling them never use it isn't realistic. Maybe have that conversation with them. How do we use it? What's a safe way to use it? And practice it with them before you have an assessment that they can use it. And then should AI art be eligible for copyright? This was actually a discussion. And in my resources, there's an article on why this award-winning piece of AI art cannot be copyrighted. And that was a decision made after this person won an award where people were handing in different pieces of art and they had put it in the AI art and won. I have some other resources here at the end where, you know, like the Adobe Firefly is also a great tool, but I use Canva because it's free for my students. The privacy is great. And you have that way of giving a copy to your students, which I might show you. So what I did to share that with you, for the template, I just clicked share. So like if you create something for them as a starting point, you can go to share and then you can either send them the link where what I did for that one was I made it anyone with the link can edit. but I'm not going to do that for my presentation. But if you made like a template that you want them to start with, you can go to more and go to template link, create template link, and then send them this. And what it will do is tell them that they're getting a copy of it. And it will say like, use this design. It looks a little different because it's already mine, but it'll say use this design, and it will make their own copy similar to a forced copy for Google Docs or Google Slides. That way they have a starting point. And I like to do that with my littles, like my first and second grade. I'll start with the comic strip and send them that link rather than having them go to the home of Canva and looking for their specific resource that they need. Just a little bit faster and easier. And then I have some other AI websites for you. I have that Quick Draw, which is great. Teachable Machines is also a great resource that you can use with your students to show them how AI works. This is where they're labeling photos. So like, say you had an image of a dog, you would show the computer that image and say, this is a dog. Then you'd show a picture of a bird, say this is a bird, and keep showing them different pictures and labeling it. Eventually the computer will be able to tell like, okay, what's this picture? And we go, oh, that's a dog. And you can use that in so many different ways in school. Like it could be science related. You could show classifications like, okay, this, you could do nutrition. Like, okay, this is a healthy food. This is a non-healthy food. However you want to do it. For music, you could do different types of instruments. Like this is a string instrument, anything like that. That's going to be a great resource. Teachable Machines for that. And then there's a couple other ones. Hour of Code is another good one for students to check out what AI is and practice it in a safe way. But that's all I have for Canva. I'd love to take questions if you have any. So you want to take over, Melissa, for me and
Yeah, sure.
moderate this?
All right, guys,
and then
I'm going to click the button off for unmuting. So if you guys want to unmute, just press the raise your hand button and we'll go one by one. Okay, and you can also put your questions in the chat as well. Okay, everyone. Well, guys, again, thank you all for coming out. Dani, you know, I know you as a friend and everything and part of our cohort 10. You always give such fascinating presentations. And again, you're
thank
so
you.
so
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.